Well, one of the first things that I do when I embark on a new project, and I call it a very immersive style of working, is that I try immersing myself completely in what the subject and what the project is about. So I end up reading a lot about it. I end up watching a lot about it. I end up experiencing things around that project a lot. So I'll be looking at basic resource material, books, write-ups, articles. I would, if I need to travel, I would go and I would travel and see what that place is. And a lot of time I'm not spending trying to understand what my character is or trying to understand what my lines are. I rather spend a lot of time the milieu, the context in which my work is situated. And often that gestation period is so long that people start getting frustrated with me, and they think I just take too much time. But it helps me a lot, because when you imbue yourself in something for long, and it's only after a period that the colors start showing on you, and one can see that you are dyed in that color, and it doesn't happen in a day or two. It takes a certain period of time. So I find that very useful, because the struggle that I have in the gestation period, when I'm immersing myself in the project, when I'm trying to understand what are the various little ends of the project which I need to tie, sometimes I feel that I do not know how will I proceed further, and I'm not able to see what is the way ahead. But when I spend too long a time with it, things start falling in place, and at some stage I start seeing the way ahead. So I think that yes, being hands-on is a very good practice. I also feel that when you are doing something, and especially when you're doing something which is not very objective, which is not mechanical, which is a very subjective, which is a very kind of a project where you do not know, there's no easy answer to you. I think spending time with your project, spending time with your material, spending time with in understanding the context, that really helps you when you are later trying to be at the front and trying to resolve issues. Then the other practice that I do is I push my thoughts. I don't take the text the way it is. I keep pushing my thoughts. I keep wondering, why is it the way it is? Why is it being said like this? What is the motivation behind this? To say somebody is courageous doesn't mean anything to me. To say something is bad doesn't mean anything to me. Why? What resulted in this being courageous or being termed as courageous? What resulted in this being termed as bad? Why do you think you prefer this thing? So I want people to push themselves, and that's what I do with myself. I push till I have a convincing answer to what I'm doing or what my choices are. And when that conviction comes, it becomes easier for me to spell out my stuff to the other people, because I'm coming from a place of conviction. I'm not basing purely on some emotional whim. I'm basing it on a much well thought reason. And that becomes much easier when I am presenting stuff to other people, because they can see that I'm coming from a source of conviction. So once these two things are kind of taken care of, the immersion part of it, where I've colored myself in the context or in the milieu that I need to understand and I need to present, and I've pushed my thoughts enough to understand and reason out why everything is happening the way it is happening, then the next thing is rehearse, is just do it again and again and again, where it becomes like the back of your hand. It becomes something where you don't really have to think about it. It becomes like a reflex. It becomes like instinctive. It becomes like very spontaneous and impromptu, and that is the key to it. Sometimes the best of spontaneity is actually in rehearsing it a lot. So you then just do it again and again and again, where you don't have to pause, you don't have to think about it while you're doing it. At that time it's so smooth and it's flowing out so well that the audience doesn't feel the strain. They should not feel that you are pushing yourself. For them, it should feel that, oh, this is so easy. Finally, when you are putting everything together, you have to think through everything. So why is my set going to be like this? Why is my costumes going to be like this? What props do we need? Why do we need to have this blocking? What light design I'm looking at? What sound design I'm looking at? And everything has to come together, has to dovetail into your larger arch that you have of the story. So this the basic arch that you have, everything has to come and kind of weave into that, And then that's when you start getting a composite whole, where things are not disparate parts of it, but all joining and becoming one full thing and one wholesome experience for the audience.